Have you ever noticed that some people, even with seemingly pretty basic language skills, they communicate with just incredible clarity and confidence?
Yeah, while others, maybe with much higher proficiency, they kind of stumble and get lost in what they're trying to say.
Exactly. So what if I told you that effective communication, really any language, has maybe very little to do with your actual language level
Okay.
and almost everything to do with your attitude?
Ah, interesting premise.
That's our mission today on the Deep Dive. We're going to explore this surprising idea, uncover how certain people get that calm, clear confidence,
Right.
why this attitude is so crucial, especially now in our sort of interconnected world, and most importantly, reveal one actionable step you can take starting today to really transform your own communication.
Okay, so to do this, we're diving into some really fascinating source material. It's excerpts from a TEDx talk, and it was specifically aimed at helping Southeast Asians speak better English. But what's truly remarkable and why we're looking at it is how universally applicable these insights are.
So not just English, but any language learning.
Exactly. Whether it's English, French, Mandarin, whatever, we'll be dissecting the speaker's own stories, her personal anecdotes and observations to pull out some really profound lessons, I think, about what truly makes a great communicator.
Okay, great. So where do we start? The talk points to a common attitude that seems to often sabotage communication.
Right.
And it uses this analogy I think many of us can relate to, the dread of piano lessons.
Oh, I remember that feeling.
Yeah. So imagine this piano student, right? Totally focused on not messing up.
Avoiding mistakes at all costs.
Exactly. For her and her teacher, success was measured by, quote, how few mistakes she made. That constant fear of screwing up.
And that's the parallel to language.
That's the parallel. It's how many people approach conversations in a new language, like English. They feel like they're constantly being judged for every little error.
Yeah, and what's fascinating there is how that ties directly into self-image.
Yeah.
You know?
How so?
Well, people develop this really strong idea of what good, proper English or French or whatever language is supposed to sound like.
Okay, like an ideal standard.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And then, when their own speaking doesn't match up to that internal standard, they feel inherently bad at it.
Right.
The talk is this is example phrase. You might hear something like, my English not so good, la. Cannot. It captures that feeling perfectly.
That self-deprecation.
Exactly. That internal judgment. And it's not just about specific accents. It's that universal feeling lots of learners get.
So this focus on perfection, it actually backfires.
Totally. It seems like striving for perfection, right?
Yeah.
But it often just leads to paralysis. You freeze up. It just strips away your confidence. And that ultimately hurts communication way more than a grammatical mistake ever would. The focus shifts from connecting with someone to just being correct.
That makes so much sense. It's a feeling I think many listeners will recognize. So how do we flip that?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting.
The talk describes this aha moment the speaker had, and it was in the most unlikely place, a cyber cafe.
A cyber cafe, seriously.
Yeah, picture it. Smelly, noisy, packed with boys playing, loud, violent video games.
Okay, setting the scene.
Not exactly the place for profound insights, right? But she watches this one guy playing a shooting game, and let's just say he was terrible.
Oh, okay. Not a pro gamer then.
Definitely not. Lots of shooting, but, quote, not much dying of the bad guys. He wasn't winning.
Okay.
But here's the key. Despite his, let's say, poor performance and his friends standing right there watching him.
Yeah, watching him fail.
Yeah. There was no embarrassment, no feeling of being judged, no shyness, nothing like that.
Huh. So what was he feeling?
He was just totally focused on the bad guys, completely absorbed. And he had this smile on his face. He was actually enjoying it.
Wow. Okay, so connect that back for us.
Yeah.
How does that relate to communication?
That gamer's attitude, that complete focus on the objective, not himself.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the speaker saw in truly confident communicators. Like this guy she mentions, Faisal. He was a factory supervisor.
Okay.
And his English level, objectively very low. But she says he could just sit and listen to anybody very calmly, clearly, and then absolutely express his thoughts beautifully.
Despite the low English level.
Despite the low English level.
What was his secret? What was the difference?
The core difference was focus. Faisal wasn't focused on himself like the piano player worrying about mistakes.
Right.
He wasn't worried about how he sounded. He was entirely focused on the person he was speaking to.
Okay.
And the result he wanted to get from that conversation, getting his point across, understanding them.
So it's outward focus versus inward focus.
Exactly. The speaker says he had no self-awareness, but in a good way. None of that negative self-critical chatter. It was purely about the outcome.
That's a powerful distinction. The piano player versus the video game player mindset.
Precisely. And to really drive this home, the talk gives a brilliant real-world example, a story from a pharmacy.
Okay, let's hear it.
So the speaker needed omega supplements. She goes into a pharmacy and deals with 2 different sales reps.
Okay, 2 different experiences.
Very different. First rep looked the part, well-dressed, professional, and seemed to have a high level of English.
Sounds promising.
You'd think so. But the moment this rep saw she was talking to a native English speaker, the narrator, she just panicked.
Oh, wait, dear.
Her eyes went wide. She started speaking very quickly, went all around in circles, trying to explain the technical stuff, DHA and EPA.
Flustered.
Totally flustered. And the result, the narrator was completely lost. She had no idea what to buy.
Yeah, the piano player strikes again.
Textbook example.
Yeah, she was totally focused on herself and getting it right.
Right.
Trying to sound perfect for the native speaker.
Exactly. And in doing so, she became very ineffective. Her high English level didn't matter because the fear took over.
The fear of judgment just overshadowed the actual goal, which was to help the customer.
Precisely. Okay, so then she encounters the second person. This was the girl behind the counter.
And her English.
Her English level was, quote, very low, much lower than the first rep.
Yep.
But her approach, it was completely different. Fearless. Direct, no fluff.
What did she do?
She just looked at the narrator and asked, super simply, EPA for heart, DHA for brain. Then pointedly, your heart okay or not?
Straight to the point.
Right. And then your brain okay or not?
Love it.
Yeah.
Simple, direct, effective.
That's the video game player in action, isn't it?
Absolutely. Despite her limited English vocabulary, she was totally focused on the person she's talking to and getting a result.
Yeah.
Problem solved. Customer understood, knew what to buy. It just shows, doesn't it? The real measure isn't perfect correctness.
It's effectiveness. Did you achieve the outcome you wanted?
Exactly. Did you get the result?
Okay, so this isn't just about individual interactions, though. This attitude difference has, bigger implications.
Huge implications.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at English as a global phenomenon today. The talk dives into some statistics here that are pretty mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah. Lay them on us.
Okay, get this. For every 1 native English speaker in the world, there are 5 non-native speakers.
Wow, 5 to 1. That's a lot more than I thought.
It is, but wait, it gets even more striking.
Yeah.
If you listen in on all the English conversations happening worldwide,
Yeah.
a staggering 96% of them involve non-native English speakers talking to other non-native English speakers.
96%. So only 4% are native speakers talking to other native speakers.
That's right, only 4%.
Okay, that really reframes things.
It completely reframes things. And the conclusion the speaker draws is profound. She says, essentially, this is not my language anymore, meaning native speakers' exclusive property. This language belongs to you.
It belongs to the users.
Yes, to the vast majority who use it globally. English is not an art to be mastered. It's just a tool to use to get a result.
A tool.
Right.
Like a hammer or a screwdriver or a video game controller.
Exactly like that. It's evolved. It's practical.
And there's another story illustrating this, right? The barbecue.
Ah, yes, the barbecue. A great example of English as a flexible tool in action. She describes this barbecue with engineers from all over the world.
Okay.
And there's this funny exchange between a French engineer and a Korean engineer about a cheese hot dog.
A cheese hot dog. What was the issue?
The French engineer was trying to explain that the cheese was inside the hot dog, but the Korean engineer wasn't getting it. The Frenchman is saying things like, I know sea cheese, then trying again, the hot dog contains the cheese.
Okay, I can picture the struggle.
The hot dog is made from. With the cheese, then the cheese coming from the hot dog. Just getting tangled.
Poor guys. Communication breakdown.
Total breakdown. But then a Japanese engineer who'd been listening quietly just pipes up with, cheese integrator.
Cheese integrator.
Cheese integrator. And boom, suddenly everyone understood. The light bulb went on.
Wow. Not grammatically correct, but...
Not even close.
Yeah.
But totally effective. It got the result. It broke through the confusion.
Yeah.
And it perfectly highlights the speaker's point. In the real world, the way English is used today,
Mm-hmm.
It's just a tool you play around with to get a result, just like playing a computer game.
Okay, that makes sense. English is a tool, focus on the result.
Mm-hmm.
But it raises a question, doesn't it?
Look that.
If it's a tool, why is it still so often taught like an art? You know, in schools where the focus is heavily on correctness, sometimes more than clarity.
That's a really crucial point. We carry that baggage with us.
Yeah, think back to school, those comprehension tests. You could understand the passage perfectly. But if you made one tiny grammar mistake, like forgetting the N in environment on your answer.
You get the big red X, 0 points.
Exactly.
Yes.
Despite understanding, but in the real world, in your job, what actually matters?
What matters is, did you understand the client's email? Did you understand the customer's problem so you can fix it? It's about the outcome, the action.
So what happens when we carry that school mindset, that piano player fear of errors into our adult professional lives?
Well, that's where the problems really start, especially under pressure. When you're in a stressful conversation, maybe with your boss or an important client,
Yeah.
and you're trying to do two things at once. Focus on being perfectly correct and focus on delivering the result. Your brain basically tries to multitask.
And brains aren't great at multitasking under pressure.
Not really.
Yeah.
And what often happens, the speaker says, is the brain just kind of shuts down. It gets overloaded.
Okay, shuts down. What does that look like? What are the symptoms?
The talk identifies 3 key symptoms you might recognize. First, your listening goes.
You're listening.
You're so busy in your head, desperately trying to construct the perfect, grammatically correct response.
Right. Rehearsing.
That you don't actually hear what the other person just said. You miss crucial information.
Okay, that's bad. What's next?
Second symptom, your speaking goes.
Ah, the classic mind goes blank moment.
Exactly. That vocabulary you have, it just vanishes. The words won't come out. You stumble, you hesitate, you freeze.
Yeah. Been there.
And the third thing to go, and this is often the worst part, your confidence goes.
Why is that the worst?
Because that lack of clear expression, that hesitation and stumbling, even though it's caused by this internal focus on correctness,
Yeah.
it can easily be misinterpreted by the listener.
Yeah.
They might see it as you lacking confidence in what you're saying, or even lacking confidence or competence in your actual job.
Ouch. So it's not just about language, it affects perception of your ability.
Precisely. It can really undermine you professionally.
Okay, so this brings us back to the core message. If we want to avoid that shutdown, if we want that calm, clear confidence of the video game player, what's the key? What's the one thing we can do?
The advice from the source material is beautifully simple, really. It's this. When you speak, don't focus on yourself.
Stop the internal monologue, the self-correction.
Right. Instead, focus on the other person and the result you want to achieve.
Shift the focus outward, like Faisal, like the gamer.
Exactly. Make it about the connection and the outcome, not about your own performance anxiety.
So wrapping this up then, the big takeaway.
The big takeaway is that English today, and really you could argue any language used for practical global communication, it's a tool.
Not an art form to be perfected.
Not primarily. It's a tool for getting results, for connecting, for collaborating. And it's a tool that belongs to everyone who uses it effectively to achieve those things. Your level doesn't matter as much as your attitude and your focus.
It's about the user, not just the native speaker.
Absolutely. It belongs to you, the user.
Okay, so a final thought for you, our listener, to mull over. Building on what we've discussed, consider how truly shifting your focus, consciously moving from avoiding mistakes to achieving outcomes, could change things for you. Not just in using English or another language, but maybe in how you approach other challenges in your life, too. What other things that you treat as arts to be mastered might actually be better viewed and better tackled as tools for getting the results you really want.